Greetings, everybody. This is the Starving Martian, and today we are looking at Dinosaurs Attack, issue number 4 from IDW Comics. Last time we checked out issue number 3, wherein we found that dinosaurs were indeed still attacking, still materializing wherever they chose, and causing havoc wherever they went. Meanwhile, aboard the space station, Prometheus, Dr. Elias Thorne had a mysterious visitor from another realm. And we pick up today with issue number 4. This is the military issue. This is the war against the dinosaurs. Man against reptile. Let's see how that goes. But before we get into the issue itself, let's take a look at this rather lovely cover. And so we see dinosaur fighting dinosaur here, with humanity caught in the middle. Buildings crumble, people flee, others are crushed. And it's just not a good thing. This is why we have leash laws. Alright, so let's get right down to the meat of the story, as it were. We begin outside of the Prometheus. There we see Dr. Thorne himself and a co-worker attaching a new lens to the main reflector here for the project, the time scan. And this is supposedly going to help them in case anything tries to take over again. They can shut it off manually. Now, if they had one of these in the first place, I don't know why it wasn't simply attached before the project began. But be that as it may, Dr. Thorne's lovely ex-wife Helen is called in to see Dr. Ambrose, who expresses some concerns. He reminds her that Dr. Elias Thorne is unusually telekinetic. He's able to move and manipulate things with his mind. And he tells her that although Dr. Thorne claims that there's a strange, mysterious, otherworldly being that's haunting his dreams and that has caused this disaster, he says, isn't it just as possible, perhaps even more so, that Dr. Thorne himself is manipulating things telepathically? Maybe consciously, maybe without even knowing it. But it's quite possible that there is no outside force, that Dr. Thorne himself is the cause of the problem. And as much as they both may still like and respect the man, Helen may even still be in love with him, they may end up having to take steps, drastic steps, to stop him if push comes to shove, if the rest of humanity is at risk. Meanwhile, on Earth, we are taking the fight to the dinosaurs. They've attacked long enough, it's time for us to strike back. First dinosaur to come over the cusp of Bunker Hill. It's not actually Bunker Hill, but close enough. Is this rather innocuous, harmless looking guy. Just kind of tooling around. Hey, how you doing? Unfortunately, while some of the brass are looking him up in their dinosaur book, some others are getting twitchy trigger fingers, and with a boom, it's curtains for that guy. And you know that this comic doesn't discriminate. We see plenty of people's intestines. You get to see dinosaur intestines too. So while the generals get upset about an unauthorized firing, the ground starts to rumble. There's our smoky charred remains of Mr. Dinosaur. And coming up over that crest is the army of the dinosaurs. Now, you see a lot of dinosaurs that normally wouldn't fight together. They'd fight amongst each other. But again, they're being directed. They're being controlled by some outside force. And here's some of the attacking army. Now, many of these will look familiar to you. I'm sure every single one of them is a reference to something. Obviously, this guy here represents Godzilla. Over here we have Gorgo. And this guy here I think was from like one of the early Lost World movies. I believe this is the Beast from 20,000 Fathoms. Moving down here we have Rodan. We have a dragon for some reason. Okay, fair enough. And if anyone can identify any of these other dinosaurs in this page, please let me know. It'd be nice to know. So, yeah, imagine looking through your binoculars one day and seeing that coming at you. And am I skipping a page? No, I'm not. Alright. So, out of the sky comes reinforcements in the form of the Air Force. And our dino buddies are no match against their superior firepower, which is cause for celebration. Unless you're a dinosaur. But this guy here isn't going to take any of that. He calls in reinforcements of his own. To the best of my knowledge, we've yet to discover any fossils this big of any pterodons, but it certainly makes for a striking image. And so the plane goes down, the pterodon goes down, everybody's going down. The order is given to fire at everything that moves, and fire they do. Dinosaurs press their attack. And they give as good as they get, I'll give them that much. Here's an exploding Stegosaurus. I think we can all agree we need more exploding Stegosauri in our lives. Is that the plural of Stegosaurus? I honestly couldn't tell you. Alright, our general here gives the order to never give up, never surrender. Before becoming a wishbone. Yeah, I don't think he's going to pull through. But that gives our troops the motivation they need to press on even more, as if they needed motivation not to be eaten by giant lizards. Here we are, very patriotic. Except that's a harmless little brontosaurus. I guess he could stomp them into dust or something. Like happened to this guy, so never mind. Not so harmless, is he? And we have a sad little moment on the bottom here. The cost of war is this Triceratops finds its baby all dead and gutted and gives a heart-wrenching roar. Now, heroes and villains and losses on both sides. And then this one chubby pink little baby dinosaur reminds me of the one from that old Jim Henson live action show. You know, I'm the baby, gotta love me. And, this kind of shell-shocked survivor wanders off. Apparently the only two living survivors of the entire encounter. And this is just one battlefield. I wonder what else is going on in the rest of the world, but I don't know, and they're making a statement here that, you know, nobody truly wins a war. Meanwhile, back aboard the Prometheus, Mr. Dr. Ambrose is having him a good stiff drink, getting ready to do what he feels he must. And if push comes to shove, he is willing to kill his own patient and friend, a man he's helped raise. But humanity may depend on it. When suddenly these big booga booga eyes startle him, but instead of assuming that it's some kind of dinosaur demon, he assumes that Elias Thorne is to blame. But he can't do much about it because he keels over with a heart attack. Now, this seems to be the trademark attack of this dino demon. Dr. Thorne himself had a mild heart attack early in the series, but he's recovered quite nicely from it. Mr. Ambrose will not be recovering nearly as well. So we see Elias Thorne and Helen going to the main bridge together, reminiscing about the good old days. But by the time they get there, they find the entire crew dead of heart failure. So Helen says she's got to go check on Ambrose, but Elias Thorne tells her not to bother because it's already too late for him. Now, how would he know that? Either he's unusually psychic, which we already know he's telepathic, so that wouldn't surprise anybody, or perhaps, Helen figures, just maybe, he's responsible. So finding Ambrose's body, she also finds his weapon of choice and prepares to do the unthinkable. Murder her ex-husband, a man that she still has deep feelings for. Because his death may save the human race. And this is kind of, the way they play this is really good. Reading this, even after I had already gone through all the cards, I wasn't sure if they're taking a different route with this. Maybe Dr. Elias Thorne is just crazy. Maybe he's imagining the dinosaur demon as something to put the blame on. Maybe he really is responsible. We'll find out for sure in the next issue. Meanwhile, we get cut back to Goen, our reporter friend we haven't seen in a while, who's reporting, as reporters do, when one of the few staff members to hang around with him busts in to tell him he might want to start packing because there's dinosaurs right in the hallway and they're heading his direction. He grabs the nearest weapon he can find, and that's it. To be concluded. Next month, issue number 5. Yeah, it'll be next week for us, but so next week we will see the conclusion of the matter. Will Earth be saved? Will dinosaurs destroy us all? Is Dr. Thorne crazy, or is there a giant monster demon dinosaur behind everything? And honestly, which would be worse? So, I'm looking forward to that. Hopefully you are as well. Until then, guys, this has been the Starving Martian reminding you, keep watching the skies.